here. And we are undistractable and unirritable. And we are hitting the recap. This is part 2. Go to the last video for the beginning. Knock it out, babe. We're finishing.
Baasha is king in northern Israel. The prophet Jehu tells him his household will be wiped out. And they are starting with Baasha himself. His son Elah reigns for 2 years before his servant Zimri murders him while he's drunk. Then Zimri takes over the throne for a whopping 7 days, but still manages to accomplish something important. He fulfills Jehu's prophecy against the house of Baasha by wiping them out. During Zimri's short reign, word gets out to the Israelite army that he has killed their king. When they chase him down, he realizes the jig is up and sets his own house on fire while he's inside. Meanwhile, Israel appoints Omri as their new king. Things are off to a rocky start for Omri, not only in his palace, a smoldering crime scene, but half the people of northern Israel don't support him. There's a short-lived threat to his reign, but he prevails. Omri is a bad king too. He's a king in the north, and all their kings, without exception, are bad. Ahab succeeds Omri. He's also in the north, so he's also terrible. You may now know how you may not know much about him, but you've probably heard a few things about his wife, Jezebel. We'll get to her soon. 1 Kings 16:33 says Ahab did more to provoke the Lord, the God of Israel, to anger than all the kings of Israel who were before him. Yikes. That's a terrible
Epitaph.
epitaph.
That's what's on your graveyard. Mm-hmm.
During his reign, one of his guys started rebuilding Jericho, the first city the Israelites conquered when they entered the Promised Land. You may recall that Joshua pronounced a curse on anyone who rebuilt it. Curse before the Lord be the man who rises up and rebuilds this city, Jericho. At the cost of his firstborn shall he lay its foundation, and the cost of his youngest son shall he set up its gates. Joshua 6:26. And that's exactly what happened to the man who rebuilds it. The text seems to indicate that his oldest and youngest sons die as a result of his endeavor. Meanwhile, in southern Judah, Jehoshaphat takes over for his dad, Asa, and Asa dies from a foot disease. God is with Jehoshaphat because his reign is similar to David's. He seeks God and he keeps his laws. Southern Judah as a whole is honoring God, while northern Israel is not, or isn't. This continues to be a theme throughout the entirety of the divided kingdom. The only righteous kings are in southern Judah. Jehoshaphat tears down the high places and even sends officials and priests throughout Judah to teach people God's truths. Another astonishing feature of his reign is the way his enemies are turned into allies, including the Philistines, Goliath's people, the people who stole the Ark of the Covenant, the arch enemies of the Israelites. Wow, even his enemies are impacted by the way he rules with dignity and honor. Jehoshaphat is beloved and respected in Judah. 2 Chronicles 17:6 says, his heart was courageous in the ways of the Lord. That's a great epitaph, but he's not dead yet, so there's still time for him to make some less than wise decisions. Stay tuned. Today's God shot. The fear of the Lord fell upon all the kingdoms of the lands that were around Judah, and they made no war against Jehoshaphat. Is God turning the hearts of these enemy nations toward himself? As it turns out, no. The Hebrew word for fear here is different than the word used to describe the good fear of the Lord. The word fear, the word means dread. The nations around Judah see that God's hand is with them, so they're afraid of them and of God, which makes them run. That's why Judah has peace, not because their enemies are falling in love with Yahweh. Unfortunately, but what this shows us about God is still an encouraging truth. He's sovereign over the hearts of our enemies, whether he turns those hearts toward himself or just away from harming his kids. It's the good and right thing, and it serves his purpose. Either way, his people are protected and his plan is accomplished. He's a bigger God than we realize, accomplishing far more than meets the eye, because he does a lot of work. He does a lot of his work at a heart level. He is sovereign over hearts, and he's where the joy is.
My God shot is that he is sovereign. Looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He's sovereign over his enemies to bring about his purpose. He's sovereign over the hearts of his enemies. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. And whether he turns those hearts toward himself or away from harming his kids, he's sovereign over the hearts of his enemies to serve his own purposes. That's a little bit even hard to hear, but it's a profound piece of who God is. Because if only he can change a heart, it's just, it's so hard to reconcile. If you are just praying and loving someone that is not coming to the Lord, it's hard to understand that, to reconcile that. Does that make sense? Like if you have a child that just hasn't, that is just so far gone, or a loved one, what's going on? Goodness gracious. A loved one or whatever, just someone that you care about is just, you pray and pray and pray for them. Even in those things, you just have to trust God. But I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful statement knowing that when it comes to me, he's going to protect me from his enemies. When it comes to those that I love, or that I serve, whatever, he is sovereign over the hearts of his enemies to protect us.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But then I think, who's his enemies? Because I know some people that don't believe in him and have turned away, have deaf to something else. And I don't know. It's just hard. It is also good. You just keep praying, stirring the heart of God to stir their hearts. I believe do that. So I'll just land there.
I mean, I think
he cares about what I care about.
Yeah, but I don't know that it says he like changes his heart towards him, but I think he protects us. He changes a heart, or he does something to us against someone. Like he can do that, but he gives us free will ultimately, right? To to choose him. So I don't know that he will change
if he's
their
sovereign
heart.
over the hearts of both those who love him and his enemies. What does that say about why our son's not coming back to him? Do you see what I'm saying? And I don't need an answer. I'm just saying, I believe, we just believe. I do believe that our hearts stir God's heart. The 2 points that are hard, there was no noise. The two parts that coexist that are hard are God is discerning over our hearts, and he can stir and move a heart. And we have free will. So who the heck is in control? Anyway, yeah. I just when I hear he's discerning over the hearts of his enemies, it sounds true. And I also then think, wow, that's good that he is discerning over the hearts of enemies to protect me and to serve him. So sorry, Jackie. I'm really hoping that Chris is able to get an answer today on our Wi-Fi, because it's really entirely too much. But then as a mom, I immediately go, well, then bring him back. Well, then discern the heart of this person that I love, or this person that I love, or, like stir their hearts toward you. But we have free will. I don't need an answer. I truly know and believe that we just don't see things the way God does. And it makes perfect sense to him. And I'm not saying all right, for sure. I don't have it all. I need to work you now. Sorry. Anyway, we just pray with complete faith. Right, Jackie? You just never give up. So loud. Okay. We've been on here certainly long enough.
Certainly.
So sorry. Thank you, Jackie, for hanging in there with us.
All right. You guys have a good day.
Babe, did you want to watch or anything you were going to share?
Well, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, God's in control, and when you're, the way I see, like when your enemies want to come for you, people want to come for you, they want to say things, do things, like God can turn them, give them a fear that they don't even know that's coming, where it's coming from, to leave you alone or whatever, just to push people away to protect you. God's going to protect you. And so that's encouraging to know that God basically has your back. Like when we walk in him and trust him, he's going to protect us. The other part I see a little differently, but I mean, to me, you just pray and that they will turn their heart towards him. Because I think that to me was more him talking about his people, not him. because it was clear they were against him. And so, but can God, I mean, I believe God can do anything, but I believe it's just a matter of prayer, and that their hearts will be softened and be receptive. They'll get to a point, you can use the word breaking point, whatever you want to use, but just to a point of turning their hearts back to what they know and the truth of what they know. And that God loves them and is for them and wants to restore them and have a relationship with them. So that's what we know. So
intercede on their behalf. Amen. All right. Thank you, babe. I am excited about progress on our house today. Tremendous progress, because I think I'm going to have closet rods up, and that means the whole living room changes. I think the TV is going to go up, and that means the living room changes. I think I might get a cabinet in my kitchen, or stained counter, or a couple of furniture pieces put together. Or
there's something happening today.
There's something happening today. And it's the last day before I leave for a trip. So I'm just excited to be here with my family. I love it here so much. No play is not getting rest. I feel like I need some rest. My body and heart and mind and everything. You know, when you are easily, like, I could just cry. I'm tired. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're tired, you are just more
Emotional.
Yeah. Or easily sensitive, easily irritable, easily sad, easily all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And extraordinary love goes to my kids. I want to get some time with the kids today. Maybe take them to a pool. Anyway, babe, do you want to share anything?
Nope, I'm good.
We're gonna close out.
Have a good day. Thanks
About
for
what
hanging
you're
in.
excited about?
Sorry, I'm excited about getting stuff done. No play is not getting stuff done. Getting my wife's
We're
closet,
done.
Getting my wife's closet rods up.
Glory.
Get her clothes out the living room.
Thanks, Jackie, for hanging with us, and anyone else who comes back.
1, 2, 3.
We are praying for a solid connection from here on out, and really hoping to hear something today. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
He's where the joy is.
Guys, have a good day.
See you in the morning. We're gonna have, if we